Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. I find it very regrettable that it's necessary for me to explain any of the things that I'll be explaining to you in this very latest Moon Lambo hot jam, but unfortunately, it's a matter-of-fact statement that there are some grifters in the XRP community. There are people who will shamelessly mislead you, lie to you blatantly, and a lot of these people, if you know more than like a tiny little baby boo bit about crypto, you can quickly realize they don't actually know what in the ever-loving hell they're talking about. Look, I don't pretend to be an expert, I'm certainly not. But my God, some of the things these people say, and then when called out for it, the refusal to acknowledge when they're wrong. It's just ridiculous. So look at this headline. Expert says only 1% will be able to afford XRP soon. Here's why. Even just take that at face value, and no, there's plenty to say, but even if you take that at face value, you can quickly debunk the concept. Let's say, I don't care how rich or poor you are, let's just say you have $100, right? And you want to invest in XRP. Well, if the price of XRP is half a penny, then you have $100 still, and then you buy $100 worth of XRP at half a penny, which you could have done back in the day, back in like 2013, 2014. Okay, so now here we are in 2025. XRP, let's say you have the same amount of money in dollars. You have the same $100, but now it's 2025. Well, you can still buy it. It's over $2 now, but you can buy XRP even if you have the same amount of dollars. It just costs more, so you'll end up with fewer XRP. See how that works? So even if XRP were $50, well, that would mean if you still had that same $100, you'd get even less, but you could still buy it. This is a stupid concept. Why do I have to explain this? It's just that the price goes up for XRP, so you get fewer for the dollars. Duh, that's the whole point. So that the crypto that we buy ends up being worth way more relative to the dollar in the future. That's the whole freaking point. But it doesn't mean that only 1% of humans can then buy it. Jesus Christ. But before going further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby. And just for fun. Now, as you'll see, there are other reasons cited that only the 1% are going to be able to afford XRP. And the reasons are actually even more stupid than what I just described here. Who are we talking about? Well, this article is covering Edo Farina here. Eduardo Farina goes by sometimes here. He shared this with 155,000 followers on X. He shared a video clip. That's him right there. And he wrote, only 1% will be able to afford XRP soon. The cost of living is exploding. Most investors are drowning in debt and being forced out of the crypto markets. Hodl strong, XRP community. Our time is coming. And then here on the screen, inside of the video, this is the text he wrote. Bull run is over. Not for the reasons you think. XRP holders, listen to this. So he's asserting that the bull run is over. And then also one of the many stupid things he states in his video, because it's in conflict with this, is that you're going to make it with XRP. He just said the XRP bull run's over. It's just the stupidest crap. Now, let me set the table a little bit. Some of you will be familiar with this fool. Some of you will. It's just completely insufferable. I'm going to give you just 2 examples. I tell you what, I could make a whole video series debunking the crap that he puts out on X on a daily basis. But actually, a little over a year ago, I was tired of him exploding in my newsfeed on X. I muted him. I was like, I do not want this creature in my life anymore. But now they're writing articles about him, and I can't escape it, so I'm back. Like, I've spent time debunking his crap, and I'm doing it again right now because it's just stupid. And it's really, again, this is grifter type stuff. I don't begrudge anybody making money as content creators on YouTube, in crypto, or any other space, but there's a right and a wrong way to do it. And if you're misleading a gigantic audience, like, you're doing it wrong. If you're operating in good faith, you're doing it right. If you get stuff wrong from time to time, I get stuff wrong. We all get stuff wrong. But if you get stuff wrong and then you keep propagating the very wrong stuff, just because you know it's the type of big, interesting types of headlines that are going to get clicks, even when you know it's not true, that's when you've crossed the line. Here's just one quick, I got 2 examples. Here's the first one. This is a post from Edo Farina, May 31st, 2023. He writes, HSBC, the largest Europe-based bank by total assets, mentions the XRP ledger for cross-border payments. The financial institution alone handles nearly $250 billion per year in foreign exchange. It also referred to DLT as a game changer. Now, here's the thing. It is true that HSBC put out some BS and they specifically cited XRP. It's on your screen. I'll read it in a second here. But he should have known better than to propagate this because he's one of the trusted influencers, right? He's one of the few that's really educated, right? He should have known that this was garbage. Or if he didn't, I would accept that too. Oh, wow, if looking back, I feel silly. I didn't know that. If he just said something like that after he's called out by me and multiple other people, and he's just like, oh, okay, well, thanks for pointing that out. And then he took it down or at least put a note on it or something indicating, hey, sorry, this was wrong. That would have been fine because then that's a person operating in good faith. Instead, he pushes back against it, as I'll show you in just a second here. But again, it is true. HSBC, they did write the following. Payments, DLT, can streamline end-to-end value transfers, reducing costs, operational risks, and settlement periods. For example, Ripple's XRP ledger provides real-time cross-border settlements using tokens that represent central bank currencies. Okay, that is so wrong right there for multiple reasons. So I responded to this. I wrote to him and I said, HSBC has demonstrated they don't know what they're talking about. Number one, the XRP ledger is not Ripple's ledger. Number two, there are no central bank digital currencies on the XRP ledger. Central bank digital currencies are only on the private centralized version of the XRP ledger. And folks, that's a separate blockchain. That is not the XRP ledger, just to be clear. And number three, XRP is the only coin Ripple uses for ODL. Now, I'll pause to note here. As a result of some of the legal happenings in the SEC v. Ripple case, it ended up being the case that Ripple, in the future, after this, was using stablecoins like Tether for any corridor touching the United States, but that wasn't publicly known, and I don't think they were doing it quite yet at this point because we didn't have the ruling from the case. But either way, it certainly wasn't publicly known. And so when they're talking about using central bank digital currencies on the XRP ledger, it's just a bunch of made up nonsense. And this is obvious. Unless you're brand new to the XRP community, like this is just stuff you know, right? Would we all agree? Like if you're brand new, I don't blame you for not knowing some of this stuff, especially if you're new. But if you've been here for like years, like he's been, wouldn't you just know that? No, honestly, wouldn't you expect that somebody would know that? Like we're talking like XRP 101 stuff. This is nowhere near advanced. And again, I don't pretend to be an expert, but this is the most basic of the basic stuff here. And he's propagating it. Why? Because the recurring theme here is that it sounds exciting. HSBC, they're saying anything that if you don't know anything about XRP, it sounds exciting. It sounds good. You're going to follow him. You're going to click. He's going to get views on X, and then he gets paid from X, right? You see how this works? And so he did respond to me. He wrote, and this doesn't even make sense. He says XRPL is also known as RPCA, therefore Ripple's protocol consensus algorithm, so it's very outrageous to refer as Ripple Ledger. Private ledgers run parallel to XRPL, therefore XRP will be the bridge for interoperability with other countries. Folks, that's an incoherent sentence. He's basically, let me dumb it down a little bit. He's basically saying other blockchains exist, therefore XRP blockchain will be the bridge for interoperability with other currencies. What? What does that even mean? You're telling me so other blockchains exist, but also the XRP blockchain exists. Therefore, because both exist, XRP wins? What the hell kind of sense does that make? That literally makes no sense. It is gibberish. But see, the thing is, if you are new to crypto and new to XRP, you'd read that and be like, oh, I don't understand that. This sounds like this guy knows what he's talking about. This is what grifters do, my friends. So I responded to him, and I wrote, HSBC called it Ripple's XRP ledger, which is not a thing that exists. Calling XRPL that insinuates centralization. No, they don't get a pass on that. Also, a consensus algorithm does not constitute the entirety of the XRP ledger. Private ledgers run completely separate from the XRP ledger, but HSBC stated that central bank digital currencies are used by Ripple on the XRP ledger for settlement. It's nonsense. Only XRP is used for Ripple for settlement. There are no central bank digital currencies on the XRP ledger. Now, if somebody's operating in good faith and they've been around here for years, that's not controversial. Nothing I said there was remotely controversial. Why would he not then just be like, oh, I should probably take that down. Well, it's the grift, folks. This one's worse. Take a look at this. This is from December 1st, 2023. He wrote, according to Google, the Federal Reserve plans to take ownership of XRP as a global payment solution. It also reports Ripple is buying back XRP as part of their buyback program to take it off from retail hands and into institutional hands. That's right, guys. He is propagating conspiracy theory nonsense here. That is the realm that he has just gotten into here. And as you'll see, even with the most recent one where he's talking about the 1%, he's still pushing this bogus narrative of XRP. It's not for retail. It's not for, the retail's getting pushed out. It's for the institutions, as if that were even a good thing anyway. He's been pushing that for years. It's never made sense. But when you're talking about the Federal Reserve doing a buyback program of XRP, oh my God. That is such a wild claim that there should be a very high bar for providing source material to back the claim, right? Wouldn't that be reasonable? The answer is yes. I know we're all nodding in unison here, but here we are. And so I was just so blown away by this one. I wrote to him and I wrote the following. I said, and I looked into this too. I was like, where did this even come from? And I figured it out. So I wrote, and this is December 3rd, 2023. I wrote, holy shit, Edo, have you no shame? This is a fake news article which highlights a 5-month-old YouTube video from Crypto Geek as the core topic. In the video, which I know you didn't watch, Crypto Geek says the Fed will not be buying back XRP. This article just linked to his video and said a bunch of made-up shit that was only loosely based on the subject of the video. They were using the video as an authoritative source to gain credibility, then lied about the content of the video. You are clearly engagement farming, which I wouldn't give a shit about if you were covering something mundane like pop culture. But you are misleading people in the XRP community on a regular basis. You do this more than anyone else I'm aware of in the community. I don't care how much X pays you for the views, knock it off. And it was at this point that he limited replies to this particular thread. So I'd already replied, as you can see. He changed it so that only accounts he follows or mentions can reply, so that it shut down the conversation. Because he got so much blowback. And I'm one of the people that push back against him, as we should do. When there's somebody grifting in the community, call it out. This is our community. And it tricks, it's offensive because it tricks me. I hate that. I live here too. We all do. And then I look at this crap, I'm like, this is why we cannot have nice things. People like this. It's offensive, because we have the best community in all of crypto in my estimation. I firmly believe that. But then you got some shitheads, like you just do. You got some of them, right? And it really burns my biscuits all up in this bitch. And so after that, I was like, I'm done. I was like, I'm muting this guy. I'm muting him. I don't need this in my life. And now he's just popping up in all these articles though, because he's getting enough reach. Like this post, he's seen 326,000 times. 326,000 times people saw him putting out this fake news about the Federal Reserve buying the buyback program, purchasing XRP. It's just the stupidest crap. And he's still pushing stupid crap ideas. Still. The headline here again, this is the new one. Expert says only 1% will be able to afford XRP soon. Here's why. Eduardo Farina, founder of Alpha Lines Academy, has again shared bold XRP predictions, warning that soon only 1% of investors will be able to afford XRP. Farina's, and by the way, I just want to note, we're going to break this down. This flies in the face of reality. These assertions he's making, and it's done in conjunction with bogus claims. He talks, by the way, in this video, I want to make sure I don't forget this. He was talking about XRP going to $1,000. So he does it in conjunction with bogus concepts of reality and with wild assertions about where the price of XRP is going to go. And very frequently what he'll do is just have blatantly false information mixed in with all this. Like, that's the recipe for what he does, and he gets a lot of clicks. He definitely is. Piece continues. Farina's analysis... Is that the right word? I would call it vomit. Farina's vomit. But I'll just read it like that word. Farina's analysis is based on current economic trends, the growing influence of financial institutions, and upcoming technological developments. According to Farina, The global economic situation is worsening, with inflation rampant and the cost of living rising faster than wages. He points out that economic instability has been accelerating since 2019, fueled by major global events. He stressed that people struggle to meet basic needs like food and housing. As a result, many unwillingly sell their crypto assets, including XRP, to cover daily expenses. Now, folks, I'll just say here, you can always find anecdotal incidents of people doing in any number of poor situations, having to sell assets that they'd prefer not to cover expenses they have in life. That assertion does not map on reality, though. That's not something that's broadly happening. You can find fringe cases. You can find anecdotal incidents. That idea, which is what he's peddling here, does not map onto reality. I'll circle back to that, but I just wanted to note that. Piece continues. Furthermore, Farina highlights that the average person finds it more challenging to save money, with credit card debt and delinquency rates hitting new highs. In his view, buying cryptocurrencies like XRP has become a luxury that people living paycheck to paycheck can no longer afford. Folks, throughout history, the whole time cryptos existed, if you can only afford the bare essentials, that's always been the case. You do that stuff first. But that, again, stating that we're regressing to such a degree, and this is his argument. His argument is that we're regressing to such a degree that literally, and he says this in his video, there will only be about 1,000 people on the planet holding XRP because the institutions are going to take it. And there's only, I kid you not, listen to the video yourself. I kid you not. I dropped my jaw listening to this bullshit. I kid you not. I mean, it's funny, but it's also just such tripe, and some people are falling for this that what? How is this real life? 1,000 people are going to hold XRP in the future. Again, I'm going to show you some data. We're going to talk about that a little bit more. Let's read a little bit further into the article first. Essentially, retail investors are increasingly priced out of the market, leaving institutional players to take control. Folks, this is why I opened my video the way I did. That's just the stupidest idea. Whatever money you have is the money that you have. And if you want to diversify into an asset class, whether it's stocks or crypto or specifically XRP, then whatever money you have, you plop it in at whatever the price is, and you can dollar cost average. It will never be the case that you're not allowed to purchase it or that it's not available. I mean, unless we're all wrong about this and it goes to zero. Okay, fine then. But this is a stupid idea. It's a stupid idea. I don't care if XRP is one day worth 10, 20, 30, 40 times what it is right now, which could happen. But even if that happens, there will always be people that want to diversify. They'll have whatever amount of money they have, and they'll buy it if they want to buy it. This is not a hard concept. It's not the case that it gets so expensive that now nobody can apply the money they have to purchase it. What kind of stupid ass idea is that? No, you just get to purchase less of it if the price is higher. Come on. What is this guy? How does this guy have followers? And look, and again, it wouldn't be offensive if I knew that he was operating in good faith and he's just getting stuff wrong. I mean, it's bad because then you got some level of incompetency. But when it's a clear grift, that's when I'm like, okay, you got to push back. Like, you got to push back against the grifters. You just do. That's the right thing to do in life. Really grinds my gears. Piece continues. As retail investors drop out, Farina noted that large financial institutions have taken advantage of the situation. He claimed that these institutions are ramping up their investments in XRP, betting on the asset's long-term value as part of the new financial system. Folks, he has it exactly backwards. This was a grassroots thing that started, folks. I mean, that's what crypto was, right? To start. The point was retail got into crypto first, including XRP. Institutions weren't convinced. And then they got in years and years and years later than us. In fact, it's because of retail continuing to adopt XRP that the institutions even have the tiniest little bit of interest in it. This is exactly backwards from reality. But this is the tripe that he pitches to people. He wants you to feel like you're special and you're in the know and this and that. It's icky. Piece continues. Farina asserted that the order books are now 5 times lower than during previous bull runs. According to him, it indicates that fewer retail investors are in the market. Now, folks, I will pause to note, he never highlighted, I don't know what he's referencing here specifically. Order books for what? What exactly? Is it for an exchange, multiple exchanges? He never goes into that. He just makes the claim, right? But, you know, there's a number of different metrics you can look at, but they all show growth, actually. Here, I'll just pull up one real quick, for example. Here's XRP scan. Let's look at the top one. Number of payments from one account to another. This is going back to April of 2013. And so you can see going back to like this is shortly after, XRP Ledger came into existence here. So any given day here, I mean, it fluctuates a little bit. Like here's a day where there are 5,900, payments from one account to another. Fast forward a little bit, it's only 2,900. Here, fast forward to January 2014, it's 14,000. Then, fast forward to like 2018, and you're regularly seeing some of these bigger numbers where it's like, it could be 12,000, it could be 18,000, it could be 25,000 per day. And so we'd already been progressing up quite a bit there. And then you can go into like 2022, and it's even higher now on any given day. It's more like 200,000, could be a little less, could be more. I just saw 330,000 there. So it kept growing. And again, we're talking 2022 here. Even as we were entering like the bear market, the depths of the bear market, you're still seeing close to 200,000 transactions a day, sometimes higher. Where are we now, though? Now we're regularly seeing like 1.2 million transactions a day, sometimes higher than this. Like, look at this. Hell, where was oh yeah, actually I can't remember the reason for this one. In January 2024 we had a crazy peak. This is an outlier. Might have to do with token setup for trust lanes. I can't remember off the top of my head, but 5.6 million transactions. Even if you throw out the outliers, though, look at what's regularly happening here. The point is, we're like 5 times up from the bottom of 2022. So these are transactions, but you can pick any metric. Okay, I just showed you one metric. It's increasing dramatically, is my point. The adoption is going the right way because there's way more retail holding XRP than at any point in history. Any freaking point in history. Have you heard of the XRP Rich List website? Look at this. It shows you how many XRP wallets there. 6,337,602 XRP wallets in existence. Now, mind you, if you go back to the furthest date they track here, May 17th of last year, 5.19 million. So it went from 5.19 million to 6.33 million. Does that sound like a world where increasingly people just can't buy XRP and they're not buying XRP? No, that's a stupid idea. Because if it were the case that fewer people were interested in buying XRP, that would mean demand goes down. That would mean that we wouldn't have hit a new freaking all-time high, which just happened a couple months ago. What? How can anybody take anything this guy says seriously? It's just the wackiest, wildest start. Demand has been increasing. That's the whole point. And it's led by retail. And so this idea, and this is the idea that he's pushing, one of the big ones. It's that institutions are coming in, and there's only going to be, he literally said this with a straight face, there's going to be 1,000 or 2,000 people holding XRP. That's what he thinks is probably going to happen on the planet. Mind you, in just the last year, we've had an increase of over 1 million XRP wallets to the point where it's 6.33 million. You know that those have to be almost all retail because there's way more humans than there are institutions. And also, looking at the amount of XRP in the wallets would lead one to believe it's just regular everyday people like you and me. Most people don't have a ton of XRP, but there's just a lot of us. There's a ton of us. All the publicly available information indicates that what I'm saying is true and that what he's saying is dog shit. I don't know why he does it, but some people are wired in such a way where they're like, okay with just grifting, and I find it to be rather unethical, but he's doing him. I don't know. You guys tell me. I don't know why people are like this. I'm observing that this one is like this. It doesn't make sense. It's not a good thing or anything like that. It's just it's a bunch of stupid ass ideas. This is not just some sort of disagreement. It's just he has a track record of blatantly lying. That's at the core of this, of why this really bothers me. Anyway, Peace continues. Where the hell was I? All right, he speculated that this power shift could dramatically affect XRP supply and demand dynamics, potentially pushing its price to unprecedented heights. So, folks, how does that make sense? So the price goes up because there's fewer people buying it. Oh, okay. Because the institutions come in. Does he even understand like what institutions are? Like a lot of time when you're talking about institutions, it could be a firm that has clients, regular people like you and me, that buy into a fund that is backed by XRP. Does he still know? Like, does he not get like that would be regular people still? They're just not taking self-custody then? It could be like an ETF or something like that. I don't think he does understand that. He's certainly not demonstrating any basic knowledge. And again, this is not expert level stuff. I'm not a wizard here. I'm not an expert. I'm a dude on the internet named Moon Lambo, okay? I'm not some wizard here. But do you like, how does he have a follow? Anyway, then Peace continues. The point is that with fewer holders and less liquidity on the retail side, those who still own XRP may see their assets skyrocket in value. That's right, with less demand and less liquidity on the retail side. So with the demand going down, that's really good because the price goes up. Because the institutions, right? Because they'll more than make up for it, right? Now, of course, this isn't reality. Again, like I showed you a couple metrics. You can look at it yourself. Retail's very obviously dramatically increasing the adoption of XRP and the XRP. And very obviously, this is the case. Peace continues. Farina also highlighted the growing role of central bank digital currencies. In Europe specifically. European CBDCs, or the digital euro, could roll out in 2025. Farina believes the XRP ledger could be a major infrastructure provider in the Cbdc ecosystem. He noted that countries like Montenegro have successfully conducted tests on the XRP ledger. Folks, that's nonsense. Ripple has said as much. David Schwartz, he said as much. There's a reason that Ripple copied the code of the XRP ledger and created a template that can be used for central banks if they want to make their own central bank digital currency. No central bank, no sane central bank, would have their financial sovereignty running on a public chain where they don't have complete and utter control. Like, for instance, there's all sorts of different things in terms of issuance, validator control, rolling back transactions. There's any number of considerations, and you need all of them to be allowed on a particular chain. And if you don't have all of those things, you don't do it. So you're never going to have a case where a central bank is putting a central bank digital currency on a public chain. I mean, if something like that ever happens, I don't know, if like 100 years from now, some crazy time way in the future where the world is absolutely 100% certain, okay, fine, baby, in the world we're living now, and he's talking about 2025, hell no, that's a stupid ass idea. Ripple knows that that's Fantasyland stuff. It's not going to happen, but people talk about that happening because it gets clicks, and then it's going to make the price of XRP go up. You got a central bank digital currency on the ledger now. No, you can have stable coins on the ledger. You're not going to have a freaking central bank digital currency on the XRP ledger. No, it would need to be on a centralized chain, not a decentralized chain. The XRP ledger is decentralized. Peace continues. Moreover, Farina speculates that once the digital euro goes live on the XRP ledger, XRP's price could explode. So there you go. It's another thing that he'll just say this crap because it gets the clicks from the people that don't know any better. He's preying on people effectively. He drew parallels to the price surge of Stellar when Ukraine announced plans to build a central bank digital currency on Stellar's blockchain last year. In parallel, he suggested that XRP holders could see similar gains with such an announcement. Okay, I don't know if you've checked the price of Stellar Lumens, but it is substantially less than XRP. It just tracks what's happening. And as far as this Ukraine stuff, I did a quick Google search. There's nothing that's indicating precisely what he stated here. But again, it's Edo Farina, so, surprise, surprise. Check this out. Farina's overall message is that the road ahead for retail investors is difficult. And that's not his overall. His overall message was that you're a special person if you make it with XRP. And then at the end of the video, he's like, I believe that if you made, I'm paraphrasing, but I believe that if you made it to the end of this video, you will be one of the few who makes it. I just burst out laughing. It's like the cheesiest bullshit. You listen to me, so now you rich. Like, what? I just can't take this guy seriously. It's impossible to take this guy seriously. But that was not the core message. The core message is that there's going to be almost no retail holders in the future. It's going to be all institutions, and somehow that's still good, and the price of XRP goes up. Anyways, then the piece wraps up by stating, however, those who hold on to their XRP may be in for extraordinary gains. He predicts that XRP could reach $100 or even $1,000, and that the number of holders will drastically decrease by then. According to Farina, the future could be incredibly rewarding for those with the foresight to secure their XRP holds. That's right, folks. XRP to $1,000 because of reasons, even though it gets less adoption. Because institutions pick up the slack, right? Of course, again, that doesn't map onto reality. As I just showed you, the number of wallets dramatically increasing. And pick a metric here. Go to XRP Scan, check out the metrics. It's getting adopted. Like, it just is. And this isn't because of institutions. If it were just institutions, just understand there's way fewer institutions than retail humans like you and I. And so if it were going the wrong way, fewer were humans like you and I, and more just institutions, then these metrics would go down dramatically. But again, the institutions, there's demand from institutions because there's demand from the retail side. If there weren't demand from the retail side, there would cease to be demand from the institutional side. Duh! This is not rocket science, folks. Jesus freaking Christ. I feel like Clark Griswold. Remember, he's like, hallelujah, where's the Tylenol? Whatever the hell the line was. What a great movie. Christmas Vacation. Oh, it really steams my vegetables. So you guys tell me what you think. I just... Again, this guy puts up so much crap. I could have a whole series and regularly update it on the stupid things that he puts out. I'm not going to do that. For my own sanity, I'm not going to do that. But this one popped up and it just hit me in some kind of way. I was like, oh my God, he did it again. I haven't corrected his stuff in so long. My life has been great. Not seeing his face pop up in my news feed. It's been really nice just having him muted. It's been just fantastic. But I'm finding I can't escape it. And I like the Crypto Basic. I don't like what they're doing here because... Does the Crypto Basic not know that they're highlighting an actual grifter in the space? Oh my God. You guys tell me, but obviously this is a bunch of nonsense crap. And so I'm glad that I have the platform I have so that I can just shred it. Because again, if it were just like an opinion-based thing, that would be different. This is a grift. Blatantly lying to our community with no shame, never correcting it, and then when he gets called out too much, then he limits who can comment on X so that he can't get yelled at and get found out by people who push back against this stuff. That's the thing. That's this whole thing. All right, I'll stop yapping. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Lambo.